America, and hello world. Good morning, Pilipinas. Welcome to our The Teacher Voice. This is an hour show that aims to give teachers the opportunity to talk on air about their unforgettable journey, their thrilling adventures, share their splendid wisdom to inspire and give hope to our listeners and viewers. This show airs by the Philippine Las Vegas radio station, located in the heart of Las Vegas, every Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific Time and 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And in the Philippines, it's Sunday, 9 in the morning. I am Teacher Judy, your host, and my co-host tonight is Teacher Pasita Ross from New York City.
Hello.
I think, Tita, before we will proceed the program, you might have something to greet to our teachers, especially teachers who are here.
Thank you so very much. Maligayang umaga o maligayang hapon wherever you are sa mga guro natin. The Philippines and the world is depending upon you. So do what you already do very well. Thank you. So for tonight's Teacher Voice Handog Pasasalamat sa mga guro professional development webinar is our presenter, facilitator, Miss Rhodora Santos. Miss Santos is the founder and part owner of Amicus Koi Solutions, a women-owned business registered in the USA, Australia, and the Philippines as one of the Microsoft Global Training Partners. She is actively supporting Filipino-Australian and Filipino-American community projects. Rhodora has successfully been involved in project management of transformation programs in Australia, French Polynesia territories, North America, Europe, Middle East, and the Philippines, practically the world. Her advocacy is to bridge the gap between educators and students in technology. Rhodora provides training and workshops to educators on the use of technology in the classroom to prepare students to the future-ready skills. And Teacher Voice is very happy and proud to present to you our facilitator presenter, Maria Rhodora Santos. Welcome.
Welcome, Rhodora. Back again. You are here with us again.
Marami pong salamat and good evening, good afternoon, o kung saan man pong bansa nakakarating ang ating PHLB radio and ang ating Teacher Voice. Marami pong salamat sa pagkakataon. At dahil po ang ating technology allows us to continue on doing what we have to do. Sabi natin, COVID-19 is, education is bigger than COVID-19. Ano po?
Yes.
And I salute all our educators and everybody who has done everything that they can to be able to show and allow our students to focus in things that we cannot control. COVID-19 we cannot control, but education and what you're doing with our students, your perseverance, I tell you, I salute you for that one. So thank you very much, the Teacher Voice. Thank you very much, PHLV radio station, for this opportunity for our teachers to be trained no matter where we are and no matter what we, whatever situations that we are in right now. So allow me to share my screen. And of course, that because we are all educators here, this is meant to be interactive. Feel free to ask me any questions. At the end of this, what we'd like you to do is that we would like you to be able to be in a position to create your own digital storytelling. And you hear a lot about digital storytelling in United States and in Australia because universities are very competitive. So what we do is that right now students in say year 12 or year 11, we needed to create them a digital story. We can only write our resume for so long, a flat resume, but then how do you show yourself to be above somebody else? Not necessarily to compete, di pa po, pero we know that in nowadays, traveling from one place to the next is very difficult, but it doesn't stop us from doing that. And at the end of this, I would like for you to be able to share with us your digital storytelling. I have been introduced already, but I just want to let you know that these are my contact details. I am an alumna of Centro Escolar University, Malacanang sa high school, and Philippine Normal University in my college. So all of us here are educators, and I may have shifted when we migrated to Australia in technology, but I tell you, once you're an educator, you will always be one. And you will always find a way to be able to share, help others, and be part of the journey and the progress and the success that we have. As you see, my favorite pastime is studying, and because that is my relaxation, I don't know. I could say I have 2.5 master's degree. I have Master of Education, an MBA, and a Master of Engineering in Cybersecurity. So I've got nothing better to do but study. So, but I love it. I always shoot two birds with one stone. And I know as educators, we all do that. And that's what we wanted to impart to our students. And with what I know, with what I've learned, my passion is to share it with you, to share it with everybody.
Thank you. Ma'am Rhodora, I'm so sorry. I just want to interrupt you for a while. I want to see, guys, your camera on, because if I cannot see your camera, I don't know if I can give you your certificate. I don't know where you are. I don't know. So we need to have the camera on. That is part of our guidelines, guys. I hope you understand. Okay, but those who have no camera on, I'm so sorry. I may not be able to give the certificate. I'm so sorry, but just to let you know. Okay, ma'am. Thank you, Ma'am Santos.
That's okay. So I am one of the Microsoft Global Training Partners, and our intent is to help you. I've helped our Philippine base, and I've been working with various regions, different associations and organizations dealing with our anything with education. DepEd has purchased the license already. So if you'd like me to help you teach your educators utilizing the technology that you have in the classroom, just please feel free to let me know. And we can always touch base through our VHLB radio, the teacher voice, or feel free to send me an email directly. So Microsoft for us, we would like to empower students today to be the creators of tomorrow. But the students are not just our students at K-12. It's not just the people or students in college. We are students too. We've learned a lot in technology with what happened to us in COVID-19. We needed to flip over and do everything we can and learn what we have to do in the context of that particular course. Ano po? So for us, we are also a student. We change our profile from time to time. We are educators when we're trying to help others. We are a mentor, but at the same time, we're students. I always say, let us bridge the gap between educators and students. No matter what you do, Google, I salute, right? They're a very good library, but there's only one person who can do the assessment, the real content, the real guide, and it's you educators. With what we've studied at Microsoft, artificial intelligence, we hear a lot about it. We get scared about it because as Sabina, then, artificial intelligence will replace me. I would say that we are replacing things that are very difficult to do, things that are very routine, so that we allow people to do other things, to be creative, to do things instead of just doing the same thing over and over again. And based on our studies, only educators and the field in education will not be replaced by artificial intelligence. Because in any artificial intelligence, we need we all have ethical obligations, and there's no one can do that except you, okay? So that's in the study already, so don't worry. And then thank you for being here and being able to learn. So let's get started with our Microsoft's way. So there's a lot of information, digital storytelling with Microsoft's way. We have so many stories. Finding digital resources that can make these stories come alive can be a challenge. Finding a tool finding a tool that also lets the writer focus on the content is another story. So we spend so much time building the
Thank you, thank you.
the content.
Larry, can you please? Okay.
And then, so what we have to do is that rather than getting sidetracked and the endless options of solutions, kasi ang mangyayari, meron tayong assignment sa mga estudyante natin, and then sasabihin natin sa kanila, oh, student, here's my assignment to you.
Mhm.
But do we dictate to them in the generations nowadays? And also I see we have young millennials educators here na po. Kasi we have a boundary. Pag nagtatanong ako, sino, ano na po? May sinasabi sila, baby boomer po ako. But the content that they know, the wealth of information that they know about the content and the curriculum, and so are you. And the good thing is that I see a lot of younger generations here. So you have this technology now. So it's very difficult, very time consuming to say, what do I have to do? What format do I do? What font do I use? Where do I put my information? How do I structure it? So this way allows you to do that. And what happens is, if you are part of DepEd, or if your school has already transitioned to Microsoft Office 365, this is part of it. It's free. It's free for you to use. And even if you do not have an education license right now, it's free for everybody to use as long as you have your Hotmail or your Microsoft account, then you should be able to do it. And this allows you to allow your students to be creative. Ayaw na ng mga kabataan natin ngayon na sasabihin sa kanila, o dito, ganito gagawin mo, ha? O ito, ganito gagawin mo. Mm-hmm. So we now allow them to step out and use their creativity. And this tool is what it will allow us to do. So later on, during my steps, I will let you connect to it. And if you are, I cannot say that don't multitask, ano po, mapapagalitan po tayo ng ating moderator. Pero, educators, you need to try it before you can tell me, maganda nga ito. Hindi na sapat sa atin na ngayon sabihin, maganda to. But as an educator, you'd say, no, I have to do it and I'd like to be able to see. Maganda nga ba? And tayo lang makakapagsabi nun. I think that is our MO. Hindi na nila pwedeng palitan sa atin yun, ano po. And I invite you to do the same today. Kasi mamaya, I'd like to be able to see your sway. I'd like you to see your digital story life. So for this one, we have potential benefits. It can be applied to any of the content area projects. It doesn't have to be just, para sa arts lang to, para sa music lang to. Hindi po. Yung akin pong na-train dati, I requested them, have a project or have some lesson plan, and that's what you build. So now you are not just showing your students PowerPoint slides galore. You're not just giving them a Microsoft Word to follow. You are showing them how it's done. You are allowing them to use their creativity kasi there's no right and wrong. Everybody has their own inherent creativity and artistic. And as we know, if we open two lobes of the brain, the cognitive and the artistic, the understanding of the lesson takes longer and takes deeper. Di ba po? Yun po ang atin na pag-aralan. Kaya po yung mga kabataan ngayon lagi ako rin naman po, I am guilty as charged. I needed to have my radio open or a television open when I'm studying. Hindi na po pwede yung maupo ka dyan, basa ka ng 3 chapters. It will not work for us anymore, and it will not work to the generations that we are teaching right now.
True.
Dati po, when we drink coffee, pasok na tayo. Ngayon, ang mga kabataan at kahit na rin tayo, we needed to be checking the technology. We need to be checking our social media. Then so be it, but make use of it to your advantage kasi yung retention ng knowledge will always be there. I will not read through all of my PowerPoint slides, and I will be sharing this with you because at the end of the day, it is your lesson after all. So we encourage everybody to utilize every assessment and reflection kasi before they even submit it to us, they will be, let's say, let you be the critic of yourself. tama ba yung ginawa ko? And then when we're doing a digital storytelling on technology, we also help them know their obligation. Not because it's free, we can make use of it, no? Hindi naman po ganun yun. Everything that we find in the website, we needed to provide we have an obligation and be responsible that we tell them na tama nga po yung ginawa natin. We don't like plagiarism. Ano po? So when we are utilizing some of this information in the technology, when we borrow it, give them the right reference. Hiniram natin sa Google kasi friendly siya. But make sure na pagka-libre po, there's always something attached to the libre. Ano po? Hindi porket libre niyong nagamit, ibig sabihin po nun, libre ninyong pinapayagan ang mga tao na gamitin ang information ninyo. So it's two ways. So hindi po, libre to, gamitin natin. Wag, that is our responsibility at turuan natin ang ating mga kabataan para po maiwasan at pag dumating sila sa edad natin, alam na nila po yung tinatawag nating ethical responsibility in this artificial intelligence or in this technology world. Ano po? So there are many stories nga po in the classroom, the teachers, and the experience we had in COVID-19. Parang binabasa lang natin nung kapanahonan, what happened to the Spanish flu? Binabasa lang natin its history. We are part of this history. Allow your students to share that knowledge, and even for yourself, ano po, even within your family, share that story because that will be part of the future information that happened and how we have managed as individual and as humans with hope and plans that we managed to be resilient with all of this experience. Ano pa. So Microsoft's way will allow you to use your devices, your cell phone, your desktop, your laptop. And so kaya wala na tayong excuses minsan, wala akong laptop hindi ko ito magagawa. Wala akong ganito, hindi ko ito magagawa. When I was there, I am so pleased that our telecommunication companies would provide some, minsan meron silang tinatawag na 15 pesos, 1 gigabyte. Kasi po nagturo ako sa isang eskwelahan at ginamit po nila is that they said that meron po daw promo. So meron silang 1 gigabyte for 15 pesos. Mahal pa daw po yung pagbabiyahe nila at pag-upo sa traffic. So sabi nila, pwede na. Di ba? Para po ganun. Hindi na sila kinakailangan gumising ng 3 hours or 4 hours para pumasok. Nakatipid sila and then so parang nire-repurpose lang natin at salamat sa Diyos na meron pa rin silang trabaho, di ba po? So this information is what we have and I heard that our Department of Education also provide a load sa mga estudyante and that is what we have to do and that is our helping each other. Ano po? So for this, we create a portfolio for students. There's a lot of things that sometimes teachers are here to guide them. But if you allow your students to, let's say, have a conference, because it's their story after all, ano po, minsan po sa parent-teacher associate meeting, ang nangyayari, ang teacher pagod na pagod kasi ginagawa nyo lahat ng mga grading, ng mga reports, lahat. Minsan po siguro pwede natin siyang i-mix. And for this one, utilizing the Microsoft's way, and it's a student-led conference, it will flip the conference because it's the other way around. They will know that I am part of here, I'm part of this activity. I have the skin in the game. Kasi pagka-part sila, at saka masyado silang mabilis sa technology, they will know that my educators, my teachers are providing me the right content, the right curriculum, and the right assessment. But at the same time, my quest for technology is being used. So iyon po tinatawag natin na bridging the gap between the two. The benefits of allowing your students in any say conference setup is that it increases your parent-student communication. I'm hearing and I'm seeing, of course, that ang mga kabataan ngayon, don't leave me alone. I'm doing my thing here in the corner. But what you'll find is that we have now technologies and Microsoft's way, and you hear about Minecraft, ano po. So that is a parcel of all of this activity. Parents will better understand their children's work kasi it is the representation. It's them who has done it. And the students takes ownership and takes pride of what they have to do. And when we do this in the classroom, at least we know na guided sila, meron silang tinatawag na responsibility as they go through the process. And it organizes and deliver your students' content. I will just share with you an example of an activity that was created using the universe. So this is a link. I'll share this with you so you can see the actual end result of what you have. So what we have is that this is just a Microsoft's way. It's a digital storytelling. And of course, it's a project in science. So they've created this, they crafted. So in any project, you will have students that are really good in arts. But this particular activity is a combination of all the 9 basic subjects. Hindi po pwedeng, English lang to, music lang to, math lang to. Hindi po gano'n na ngayon ang ating technology at ang ating system. So if you allow them to do that, then you are tapping every single subject along the way. Kasi it has to be represented well. Ano po? So all of this information, because they are all online, if the students has created this, could you imagine how proud that they will be? Kasi now they did not just write down, I am artistic. How can you be artistic? Let me show you. I have done my research for what is it like to be in the universe. So that's a science project on its own. So for that particular portion, it is, of course, this one is so beautiful. It's submitted already. But sabi nga, the beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Each and every one of us has this creativity tap, and that's what I'd like for you to be able to do. So let me skip through all these wonderful slideshows, but I'd like you to be able to really work with me and do this. Ano po? So let's now create a portfolio. And for us to be able to do that, we will allow you to create your, kayo po ang estudyante po, sa ngayon, ako teacher ninyo. At dahil kagaya ng lahat ng mga teacher, pagkatapos nito may assessment. Pagka po walang assessment, parang assessment is two-pronged. Ano po? It's an assessment whether na turuan ko ba kayo ng tama or naintindihan ba ng bata ang tama. So ganon po yun. Sa dalawang ang two-prong ng ating assessment palagi. At ganon po ang lagi nating approach naman as an educator. And of course, we are assessing our students not to fail them. We are assessing our students because we really wanted them to be at the level of knowledge and age and everything accordingly. Ano po? Yung tinatawag na walang iwanan in a true sense of the word. I had an activity. I was invited at the Quezon City Animation Fair on 2019. I taught educators how to use the technology. The educators then work with their students. This is a DepEd in Quezon City. At tinuruan nila ang mga estudyante nila. And what we requested them to do is to utilize virtual reality and digital storytelling. I tell you, the public school students, they have created a 360-degree story of their school. Kasi marami mga business at maraming taong tumutulong sa brigada. And they have not had the opportunity to show them at showcase ang kanilang eskwelahan. So they created a digital storytelling that allows people who's helping them to appreciate where the money is going to. Kasi hindi naman nila nakikita. Sasabihin nila, sige, magbigay ako ng ganito. Hindi nila nakikita yon. Ano po, hindi naman sila nakadalaw. Pero doing it that way, it helped them set it up. So now, we will create a very simple sway lang naman po. Huh? It's a very simple sway, and what we'll do is that who am I? Simple. Ano po? We will add 3 more heading cards, and then we will include where do I live, what do I love, and what have I learned. So simple lang natin gagawin. Ano po? So ang ating pong setup, and then later, my challenge is that share it with us if we still have time here. Just siguro magra-random call tayo. Parang yung pag nasa classroom, yung hindi nakatingin sa teacher, ang tatawagin ng teacher para mag-participate.
Yes, yes. And that is
po
one
siya.
way for us to know also, Doris. One way
Opo.
for us to know that they are there.
Tama po yun. Yun po. So mamaya, kung sino yung hindi nakatingin, yun po ang tatawagin natin para mag-present po. Ganun ang gagawin natin. So for this one, for us to get started, I invite you to go to your sway. You can click, you can have, I'll just type it up here sa ating chat para may click nyo na lang yung link. Mas madali siguro po yung gano'n. Hanap ko lang yung chat. Lagay ko po dito, ha? And those who are multitasker, lahat po tayo multitasker, even though it's very early sa Philippines, wala naman pong tulugan ang mga teachers. Ano po? So click po that. And if you will work with me, what will happen is that you don't have to have your username or password, but later on to explore other templates, I invite you to create your own personal Hotmail account, or if you are already in DepEd, I believe they have released already your usernames and password. So please feel free to use that, because at the end of the day, you can use it in your classroom. Ano po? So we always shoot 2 birds with one stone in any opportunity learning that we have. So at the top of it, you will see that you will be able to create your account if you have to, but as I said, you can always skip it over. If you already have your Office 365 education license, it's part of it. And when it says it's part of it, kahit po ang estudyante ninyo, meron na silang access dito. Basta po na-release na, if it is, karamihan po ba ng ating mga teachers dito are from Department of Education? Combination of private and public?
Public.
Public. Oh, very good. So, kasi po, I did a roadshow nang nasa Philippines ako. I went to different regions, Region 1, 3, 4, Tacloban, Iloilo, Davao, to teach educators. Kasi po, sa inyo yung tool na yun eh. And DepEd and our Secretary Briones has the right heart, and she wanted to be able to teach you, help you, so we can help our students too. And students have the right to use the application din po. So it's this Sway application. So for us to get started, we will create our, there will be a welcome. And what I'll do is that instead of me going over my PowerPoint slides, I would like to be able to show it to you. Pwede po ba yung ganun? Para po interactive tayo. Okay? So iayos ko lang po ang aking mga activities dito para makapag-share ako ng aking screen.
We have 25 minutes left.
25 minutes left. So this is my project. Ano po? Who am I? I wanted to be able to show you kung sino nga po ako. So ito po yung first birthday ko. May bulaklak sa ulo. Ano po? Parang memories, yesteryears. So ganyan po. So sabi ko, my strong knowledge is what we have. So this is now the end goal of what we will be doing. And then of course, you flip on your page and it says, who am I? Sino ba talaga ako? Who is the center of my life? So I include the center of my life. And then who completes me? So my family completes me, and it's always them who's doing this. So when you're trying to create your story, and then I know we miss our families because we cannot see them, ano po, dahil sa nagyari sa ating mga lockdowns, sa ating mga situation. But it's still our story. And at the end of the day, where do I live? what do I love, and what do I learn. So now, let's do it together. So sabi natin, we start off with Sway, Office, and then you will be provided. So for this one, I will not need to have any username or access. And then when we say we do not want our students to be spending time thinking of a format, kasi that will kill the process. Walang matatapos, ano po. But before we do this, we wanted them to write down their story para meron silang guidelines, para meron silang mga sinusundang process. And that, I would say, it's part of their information that they step back and then form their process. Pero how do I show it? So for this purpose, let me just go through one of the templates, because there's always a template set up for us. So for this one, and you will see a lot of information already when you log into our Sway. It gives you different stories and different examples. Ano po. So it is very important for year 10, year 11, and year 12 students to create their own sample. I know we just started the class, but all of this, everything that they do from the day one, it's a specific, lahat tayo may goal. But if we're not going to show them how to plan accordingly to do it, by the time na mag-graduate sila, mahirapan sila. Sasabihin nila, ano pa nga gagawin ko? So we allow them to start building up and saying, who am I? What do I do? So for this one, when you go to the to the Sway, you can then use the sample, and then let's say I'll just use this template. Ano po? So what we have here is that it gives them the structure of what they have to do. And all they needed to worry about is their story. And then you just click on Start Editing this way, and the system will automatically create it for you. It gives you guidelines of the title where you can put any title that you like. The system will allow you to put any video, any audio, any recording that you want. Let's say you wanted them to, so it's a combination of their knowledge plus their artistic. So you're tapping the two. And there are things na sasabihin, okay, so how do I represent myself if I am into arts? So I'll show them my portfolio of what I have drawn. I take a picture, I put it here, and that's my portfolio. How do I show them that I have a beautiful voice? Because that's my part. So now what I'll do is I will record my voice, potentially using the Microsoft PowerPoint presentation, kasi po ang PowerPoint you can now record. So I can use that. So you don't have to buy any other applications or any other tool. And the notion of free, Department of Education has given that to you already. So make use of it. Allow your students to be able to do that. Lalo na karamihan ng mga estudyante daw natin. But I'm hearing a lot of good news that tumataas na daw po ang percentage na meron provided ng laptops ang mga estudyante. At sana nga po dumating yung time na lahat na tayo. Pero meron namang mga devices na po pwedeng gamitin. So, and then it will allow you to put your experience here. So instead of them saying, ano ba gagawin ko? Paano ko ba siya susunod-sunodin? How do I represent myself? So now you have the templates for you to do it. You can embed any information, and because we're teaching our students the responsibility of providing reference to where it belongs, we also have to include here kung saan nanggaling yung mga information. Kasi, and then that will save them in the plagiarism. If we teach our students naturally that way, thanking those who should be respected and should be referred to, matuturuan natin sila, and they will bring that up sa kanilang, hanggang sa tumanda na po sila, kasi magiging natural na sa kanila yun eh. And that is what we have to do sa technology. And of course, it gives you guidelines. And now we have a lot of online training, online self-teaching, self-paced, and I know sa ating mga university, mga eskwelahan, we are offering all of this. So lahat na po sila nakaset up na. At for the person, and then when they're creating their website, sasabihin nila, wala pa akong volunteer work Pero sa gusto kong mangyari, kinakailangan na pala ako mag-volunteer work. For me to be competitive, kasi it's not just studying na. In universities in Australia and in United States, kung naging pagpalagay natin, you are a valedictorian. Okay, very good. Para ka ma-accept sa very competitive state universities, tatanungin nila, what have you done apart from studying?
Right.
Pag sinabi nyo na hindi po, study lang ako, I'm sorry, they will not give you a chance at all. Kasi siyempre, kung puro aral lang ang gagawin mo, expectations ko talaga sa iyo is valedictorian ka. But you needed to balance your life. And it's not all about sabihin na natin, well, all of us have financial obligations, ano po? Pero it's not just all about money. We needed to be able to know we have two sides all the time. There's a passion for us to study, and there's a passion for us to help others. At the volunteerism will form that particular person and will also guide them accordingly kung ano nga po ang gusto nilang gawin. So ito po yung examples na ginagawa nila. And this will help our year 10 kasi I heard that year 10 students are thinking of working na. The good thing with technology, it allows us to be able to do that, but allow them to have other skills that they love most, something that they can differentiate themselves amongst others. Pero at the end of the day, if everybody will be doing a volunteer work, then we're good, ano po? Kasi we need that too. So iyan po yung example ng mga templates already available for educators kasi now you are showing them grammatically correct, spelling correct, yung mga doon po, structure correct. But now you are no longer the perfect format is very difficult to find. But having at least to get started, at least you have given them the guidelines. And after that, the sky's the limit and they can explore. Ano po? Mm-hmm. So now, are you now ready to create our own? Yung pong challenge natin, gagawa na tayo ng sarili nating sway. Ano po? So balik ako sa aking sway and then we will now create new. So sabi natin, uunahin natin, kuhain ko lang po ang aking example ng aking notes. Balikan ko lang po yung activities natin. And you can write it down in the piece of paper. Ano po? Lalagay natin, who am I sa first one? And then where do we live? And what do I love? And ano po, what have I learned? So 4 lang naman po. Ready na tayo, ha? So balik ako doon sa aking sway. And then sabi ko dito, who am I? So how do I introduce myself? It's just a simple information. So you pick and choose your photo wherever it is. Usually we have photos in our system. Ano po? So let me just choose. So in the who am I, you can choose pictures that are already, the system will say, you're asking yourself, who am I? So there's an artificial intelligence in all Office 365, and it would say, ano kaya gusto mong i-present? Ano? So, but for the time being, let me just choose a photo in my device. Uh-huh. So I'll just choose anything, and let me just use this one. Kasi po, malapit na birthday ko eh. At marami pong salamat sa pagkakataon at kasama ko kayo ngayon. Birthday ko po is Wednesday. So,
happy birthday!
Advance, ayan. So it's the best way to have a party is to have a virtual party since we cannot have a real party for now. Ayan po, who am I? And then what we do is that we say that we have to have another heading card. And then the heading cards that we have is, sabi natin, is where do I live? So for this one, when you press the plus sign, you can choose a heading, a text, an image, or anything. But for this purpose, our activity says we create 3 more headings. And the 3 more headings that we have is, where do I live?
Okay.
And I'll be looking forward seeing all your work later on. So one of the places, so where do I live? So ilalagay natin. So dito sa ibaba, pwede nyong gawing isa-isa o pwede nyo namang gawing lagyan nyo ng picture dito sa background. So because you've stated that you're asking for where do I live, so it will tell you, okay, you're asking for where do I live. When you click on where do I live, the system will, you can click on it and it will give you information that is available sa website. So halimbawa po, isa sa mga lugar na natirahan ko, isa sa mga lugar na natirahan ko is Australia, New Jersey, at saka Philippines. Ano po? Pero for the time being, let me just use any photos that I can find. And then I would say, this is where I live because this is my favorite. One of the things that it's my favorite. But because I am using the photo from an internet, we need to tell the source of that document. I will not claim that it's mine. The first picture that I have, it's my picture. So I don't have to put my source. But because I'm using this and I would say add, it is my obligation to also include my source. Kasi kinakailangan malaman ng mga tao na hiniram ko lang siya at meron siya talagang may-ari ng photo na yon. Pero halimbawa po at sabihin ko naman na hindi, meron po talaga akong photo na gusto kong i-share sa aking mga tao. Kaya po pwede kong sabihin na punta ako sa aking device ulit at alam ko po napakarami nating photos. At marami tayong selfie. So gamitin po ninyo yon kasi it is you, it's representing you and it's your mga experiences. Ano po? So dito po gagamitin ko naman ang Australia as one of them. And then now I don't have to put my source. But for the first one, because I know that this was taken from somewhere else, you needed to put your reference at the end of your particular page. And then the next one that I have, so this is our obligation that we needed to be able to do this and remind our students hanggang sa magsawa na sila, ulit-ulit natin. Mga anak, pagka kumopya tayo, humiram tayo ng mga pictures sa website, magpapasalamat kayo dun sa may-ari, ilalagay nyo source para hindi, and then for any education purposes, kasi we're not selling this information anyway, it's our representation, or pwede nating sabihin, these are the places that I want to be able to go pagka clear na. Balita ko po, malinis na ang Boracay. So yung mga ganon po ba. So and then the next one that we needed to do is another heading, and we say, what do I love? No? So what do I love? Nag-type po ba siyang tama? Hindi. Dali lang po.
There you go.
What do I love? And then the moment you add it, the system will then look at it and say, oh, you wanted to know what do I love? So bibigyan ka ngayon ng idea.
Ideas.
So, ideas, paano nga ba yun? Ano ba yung, what is a version of love? Ano po? So bibigay siya ng mga information, tapos pipili tayo kung ano yung gusto natin. And of course, lagi nating sinasabi na we love our work. Minsan nakakalimutan natin bakit nga ba ganoon. Pero syempre, binabalansin natin ang ating mga ginagawa. No po? So for me, to balance myself, I would say that this is the first thing that I would love to do. And then, but I have other things that I love too. So yun po ang context, and you can always write your own story, your own information, but I'd like to be able to see your project. Kaya po, ako po mag-i-skip ako dito sa ganito, and then the last heading that I will need to create is, what have I learned? So today, with our teacher voice, it allows us to help each other, and then all throughout the process is that we are meant to help and learn from anything that we actually do. So here, when I type that up, so the system will say, okay, so you wanted to know what have I learned. So it will give you now an idea. So ito ba yung nagustuhan mo? So sabihin natin na kaya kuhain na lang natin siya dito. So ayan po siya. Or mali ang aking nalagyan at ilalagay ko siya dito. And then you can always delete it naman. So you have a, so for this one, you can use different fonts. you can put bullet points, you can put numbers, you can link any recording that you have, or you can say, when my people opens up my website, I want them to focus on that particular aspect. But for this one, it looks like that I duplicated it. So let me just delete it. And then once you're happy, you can play. You want it to view. So simple lang naman po yung ginawa natin sa ngayon. But you would be able to say play. And then now it will give you an information, not a lot of information for me right now. I did not say a lot of captions and everything. But sabi nga natin, pagka may structure na tayo, then sasabihin natin, pwede ko itong ilagay dito. And then every time we open up the minds of our students to be more utilizing their creativity, then makakatulong po sa kanila yon. And it will open up more options and benefits for them. So ayan po ang ating first file. Simple lang naman ang ating digital storytelling. And then when you're happy, you can then share. So I will be looking forward for you sharing with me your Microsoft's way.
Okay, thank you very much. We appreciate your presence tonight. And
especially to Maria Rhodora Santos, our presenter. Yes. Thank you very much. I learned a lot, to tell you.
Yeah.
Salamat po.
Yes, Ika. Yes. Thank you, guys.